Want to welcome you to the next episode of the Prosperity Podcast. And today we have Jacqueline Murray. Jacqueline is the owner of Inbloom Aesthetics. It's great to have you on today's show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. I just celebrated a birthday yesterday and, now it's going to be Christmas all of a sudden, isn't it? It's only a
Oh
few
my
months
gosh.
away. I know, it's
Yep.
crazy. Where's the year gone?
I know. It's insane. October's almost over.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Jacqueline, it's good to have you on the show. I wanted to ask you, I'm always fascinated by the names of companies, and obviously yours is Inbloom Aesthetics. I'd love to know kind of what does the word blooming mean to you?
Yeah. So I named my business Inbloom Aesthetics because I believe that we're always in bloom and we're always getting better. We're never going to be perfect because perfection is extremely limiting, and that we can always be working on ourselves, whether that is through aesthetics or wellness or our character. Just even at my business, any client I have, we're always having deeper conversations or discussing new hobbies or things to try in life. So yeah, it's just really a reference for just like we're always blooming, we're never done. So we can always keep working on ourselves.
Definitely. It's always a bit of a journey, isn't it? Like when we go through life, whether it's professional or personal, there's always something that we can improve and grow in and expand. Do you ever get tired sometimes of trying to find the lesson in everything?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. I honestly like that you say that. I don't know if I per se always try to find the lesson in everything, but when I see it, I acknowledge it if there is a story. But yeah, when there is a story, I like to highlight it. But sometimes there's not always a deep rooted story in everything. It's just part of your journey.
Yeah, I guess if we take your line of thinking that we're always blooming, in some ways it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit because it means that regardless of what's actually manifesting in our life, there's always that sense of it going from one dimension to another. I don't know why, but I had a vision there of like monkey bars, and it's like you go from one bar to another. You have to
Yeah.
let go of the past in order to reach for the future, and sometimes that gap and that gulf between one swing to another is uncertainty to clarity to fear to excellence and everything in between.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. I love that. And yeah, just you might not like where you're at right now in life, but just know that things always change. So you're always blooming. So you might not like where you stand today, but tomorrow is a new day. So yeah, very true.
And the interesting thing is when we're going through life, and especially if we have our own business like you do, and many of the people that are listening, and myself, self-made, we're creating a service or a product, and we're hustling and we're present and we're giving the best of ourselves. I know that on the side you love to fly fish, which I have a friend called Lee Bartlett who wrote The Number One Salesman, and he does a lot of sales deals out in Oman or in the Middle East with various people. He's a fly fisherman for Great Britain, so he loves it as well, and really took my interest when I saw that you love fly fishing. How important is it for us to have an escape or a space within nature where we can actually breathe and actually realize that us having time out actually does actually mean a better service or product for our clients, our customers?
Yeah, I think it's super important. And so I was just in Spain riding my mountain bike, and that's when I really, felt that and I was like, whoa, this was so important for me because especially as a business owner, there is always something you can be doing. So when you're at home or even when you're around friends, it's really hard to stay in the moment and not get on your phone and email people back or start working on your next, big marketing event or whatever. So that's why I really think that's important because many times when you're out in nature, you have no service. So you don't even have the option to work. But I think it is super important to kind of help prevent burnout. And then when you are seeing anyone in your life, honestly, you're excited. You want to tell the stories. You want to encourage them to do the same thing and give them advice on where to go and where to explore. And then they get excited or they're just excited because you're excited because we have mirror neurons in our brain, which are neurons that reflect the energy or what they see. So I think that's very important too, that when you're coming back refreshed and excited and eager to get after life, the person across from you, it's going to be nearly impossible for them not to feel that and then also want to reflect that. I love nature myself, so I love fly fishing and mountain biking. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but, there's always walking and hiking and kayaking. I think they're crazy, but, I mean, there's so many different things, and it's just, I don't know, kinda brings you back down to earth. It's to me, nature is so humbling, like, I don't know, you think you're so important, and there's a magnifying glass on you, and then you kinda just go out in nature and you're like, "Wow, like, nothing's about me. Like, look at this place." It's just so humbling, so.
A good point. Now, you've been in healthcare for decades, and you had a personal struggle with acne as a child. And I just
Mhm.
wondered how much of that experience has really shaped your Inbloom Aesthetics business by having that personal story. How much of it derives from that?
I mean, a lot of it, I mean, I still struggle with, acne, but I'm getting it fixed and really doing a deep dive with the health and wellness and my gut. Yeah, I mean, cystic acne in general, just it's really bad. For me, it was on my chin and they were huge. Like you couldn't miss them. Like I know a lot of my friends would be like, it's not that noticeable, but I mean, it was that noticeable. It really just keeps you from wanting to go socialize. I didn't want to take any photos with anybody. I was always the one taking the pictures. You don't really want to go out to fancy dinners or and that might be a big reason I really did get into the outdoor industry is because like, it was just me in the outdoors or me and my friends who, like, we didn't care about how we looked. We were trying to catch fish or we were trying to ride our bikes. It wasn't like we were getting all dressed up and, like, going out to a fancy dinner and taking a bunch of photos of ourselves, a big thing too is, like, I don't know if I really ever went to, an esthetician or a nurse or, like, a med spa for my acne. I think I maybe went, like, once or twice, but then I moved because I did travel nursing. But even when I was young, I went to a dermatologist and they just put me on spironolactone and tretinoin and called it a day. But yeah, I never actually, like, went and was part of an actual program. So now a lot of med spas that have estheticians will do, like, acne boot camps, and they'll give you you'll do monthly facials, you'll get a full skincare lineup, all that stuff. So, like, I never did that. So, like, I'm sure it could have been better. I was just honestly, like, putting up with it and, like, kinda doing what I could, but I just didn't really think there was an answer, and then I just didn't wanna do meds, so for the longest time, I got off of them. But then it was just getting bad again, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, this is" yeah, it's just been a journey with that. But yeah, I wanna help other people honestly just feel confident enough to just go live their life, and even in that, like, especially being in the outdoor industry, like, it always kind of hurts my heart when I see women putting on full faces of makeup before we go ride bikes, before we go fly fishing. Like, to me, I'm just like, "Well, why don't you feel comfortable in your own skin while we're doing these things that, like, it's just us?" Like, even if we're taking photos, like, I wanna help people feel confident that they can, wake up, do their skincare, put on their sunscreen, and then go ride bikes, and then go fishing, and then do whatever outdoors, like, not feel like they need to put on a lot of mascara and contour their cheeks and, like, have cover up all over, you know? And that's very doable with a lot of the services we now have and the lasers we have, microneedling. So a lot of my clients will text me and they'll be like, "Hey, I just want to let you know today's like the first day I didn't wear makeup to my softball game," or, "I went makeup free to go to work today." And so that kind of stuff. I just want to help people feel confident. So obviously they can go into the world and smile at everybody and strike up conversations or, just be confident and believe in what they're saying to people and not constantly be thinking about what they look like because most people don't notice. Like the flaws we see in ourselves, most people do not see it. So I also try to teach that to my clients too is like, I'm here to help you, but I promise you what you're fixating on, we're not seeing. Or we have our own stuff that we're going on in our life that like we're not nitpicking you, we're nitpicking ourselves. So I also try to encourage people that is like no one has a magnifying glass on you. Like nobody's paying attention to you. Like we all have our own stuff going on. So as long as you and you like what you see in the mirror, that's truly all that matters. So,
It's really beautiful because I always feel like people can only talk about their past when they've either been through the healing or the well on their way within that journey. So the fact that you can actually speak about something that used to be something that you would hide away from, like physically not want to go out to, now even being able to articulate it, shows that healing, shows that bloom state that you talked about. I wanted
Mhm.
to ask you, many people see med spas as purely cosmetic, but what do you really want us to understand, Jacqueline, about the deeper purposes behind Inbloom Aesthetics?
Yeah, so, skin health. The skin is the largest organ in our body, so really taking care of our skin, and there is a way to, we're trying not to say anti-aging. We don't really wanna use that word anymore. We're kinda moving towards, like, aging gracefully, but when you take care of your skin or you're healthy on the inside too, it does show on your skin. Our skin does show a lot of what's going on the inside. So it's not necessarily all about like how we look. Cause I think there's such a stigma. It's just like aesthetics is just so you can get the big lips and get the crazy this and that. So you can take photos, be an influencer, go to fancy Scottsdale dinners. But that's just not what it is. It's really kind of giving you back, especially if we're doing like filler, like kind of give you back that volume maybe you lost over time, especially moms when they breastfeed, they lose so much fat in their face, and women have babies in their 20s. So then in their 30s, they're feeling like they look like they're 50 or like their whole face is, they lost all that fat. So like kind of just giving that back. And that's not to change the way you look. That's just to help you look like you or like, you did before you had your babies. But yeah, it's not so much just, and it's not in vain necessarily. Like it's not just so, we can be like, look at me, look at me. It's really just so you can like you and you can feel confident but it's not like we're always doing Botox and filler. We also have biostimulators such as Sculptra or Radiesse. And those are injectables we use that your body stimulates collagen and elastin. So it helps your skin, it helps restore volume, but that's your body doing the work. So that's like one of my favorite things to do because it's regenerative aesthetics is what we call it. So you look like yourself. It's extremely natural. It's your body, it's your face shape, all of that. So I guess to answer your question, that was a really long-winded answer. Yeah, I would just say like health, like healthy skin, health on your inside. I also do some wellness stuff. We have vitamins, we have some peptides, stuff like that. So yeah, just I don't know, just helping people feel confident. And yeah, it's not just about looking like a model. It's just about feeling like you and confident about you.
You work in an extremely competitive market as well, Jacqueline.
Mhm.
I'd love to know, like, what's been maybe like your biggest setback that you've had within Bloom Aesthetics, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I mean, overcome's a large word. I mean, it's daily, always trying to work and grow. Yeah, this is probably I think we are the most saturated market, probably in the US, is in this Phoenix Valley, mainly because like the business rules and stuff. It's just more of us can have businesses down here, so we do. I'd say a big thing is that's tough being a small business owner is obviously like I'm not sitting on a bunch of money to just be dumping into marketing. Like some spas are dumping like 10 to 20K a month just into marketing. Whether they have clients in their door or not, they have that money. And then they can offer these crazy, crazy deals. And then they also have a lot of buying power. So they can buy 500 vials of tox at one time, but there's like 5 different types of tox, so they can buy that many vials of each one, which, I mean, that's thousands of dollars, which as a small business owner, it's really scary to buy a lot of product if you don't know that you're gonna have someone come use it, because they also have expiration dates. So it can be really scary. But so far, what I've really liked about it is showing me that you can have all the money in the world for marketing, but if you don't connect with your clients, they're not coming back. Especially females, we love connection, we love emotion, we love that. So if you go into any business and you have a cold person on the other side who you're not enjoying your time, you're probably going to go somewhere else. because our time is precious. So you might as well, if you're going to go get your tox appointment or your filler or your microneedling, be with somebody you enjoy. Because then it's like hanging out with your friend. And, the hour of microneedling, you can talk about stuff, bounce ideas off each other. What I love too is like most of the time we don't know our clients. So we can give you a complete, like, there's no bias to anyone you're telling me about in your story. I can just like repeat what you're saying to me. But I'll say that's kind of when being a small business does start to outshine. I mean, still outshines very large, but once they come and see me, they just love the way they feel hanging out in Inbloom Aesthetics. I have like a really fun vintage wall with black and white vintage models and actresses, and it just kind of makes you feel empowered in a way. And then I think they just like that it's not a huge hustle and bustle environment and it's just me and them. So no one else even sees them. Nobody even knows they're there, because some people don't want others to know they get Botox or filler. So I'm just in a little sweet space. So I think some people like that they don't have to go sit in a lobby full of other people who then know. But yeah, to answer your question, it's always going to be competitive and I'm always going to have to keep working at it, which is the In Bloom.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah.
keep working, learning new things. I'm constantly trying to go to networking events, trying to educate myself on different marketing tactics, different, kind of like educate myself more in sales, because they don't teach you any of this stuff in nursing school. So it's really funny that I stepped into this because it's a lot of new stuff that I've had to learn myself because since I started a new business, nobody's been here to help me. It's just been me. And then obviously I have hired people to help me, to educate me, and go out and go after it because most people quit after their first year or two. I'm still going after it, but it's definitely some days are harder than others. That's for sure.
And as we bring this into land, Jacqueline, how do people find out more about you and your business? And if you wanted to share one more thing, just to, I guess, just to leave with people as they finish listening to this podcast.
Yeah, so you can find me at Injector in Bloom, Injector underscore in Bloom on Instagram. And then my website's on there. You could DM me, email me. And then I guess what I would like to leave with people is, I think just when you can truly love yourself, you just stop caring about what other people think and you live so much more freely. So I just encourage people, whether they come to me or anything, just that they could reflect on that and just see that that's the bigger picture. A lot of times of aesthetics is, we do just now wholeheartedly love ourselves, that we truly don't care what the society thinks or tells us what we should and shouldn't do. So I just would love if everybody else could get to the point in their life where they love themselves and do not care what anyone else has to say about them. So they can go 10 times harder in anything that they do.
That. Thanks for joining me then, Jacqueline, on today's Prosperity podcast.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.